Nobody knows how dry I am. Nobody knows how dry I am. Oh, my head. I feel like I've been drop kicked by Jason Statham. Where the heck did all these Mountain Dew bottles come from? Oh, shoot! I must have watched something so bad that it caused me to drink Mountain Dew, and my body can't handle caffeine, so it has a negative effect on me that makes me drunk. Oh, the pain of this hangover. Well, I wonder what could have caused me to binge myself. Hello, County Market. I like 15 24-packs of Mountain Dew. I don't care if you don't deliver! Get them over here now! This is an emergency! Well, folks, I found out that this show that Pandora herself wouldn't want to release onto the world was renewed for another season. This boggled my mind because I don't know how anyone could still be watching this show, so I did some research on it. According to the creators, they said that due to numerous complaints they got, they decided that they were going to make the second season more like the classic Looney Tunes. Me, with my optimistic attitude, I watched some episodes of the second season to see if they were true on their word. And this is how I got my hangover. So, get ready to witness rapings. Here is my third rant on the Looney Tunes show. Okay, so the first episode was Bobcats on 3. This episode starts off with Daffy watching an exercise program. Bugs claims that Daffy said he was going to exercise today, but Daffy says he's too lazy, so he's watching exercise tapes instead. Get it? It's funny because... No, wait, it's not. All Daffy's doing is watching exercise tapes. There's nothing funny about that. Oh, horrible jokes that this show is known for. How I've missed you. Anyway, after the intro, Gossamer comes over and asks Daffy to be the coach for the elementary school's water polo team, and Daffy agrees. Wow, I can already picture all the comedic possibilities that this episode is not going to take advantage of. Meanwhile, Bugs goes over to Porky's house, and Porky asks him to be the taste tester for the meals Porky's prepared for a party he's catering. That's right, I totally remember Porky being a caterer in the classic Looney Tunes shorts. He was. I promise. Shut up. Bugs says that Porky is a terrible cook, so Bugs volunteers to help Porky out. We cut back to Daffy saying unfunny things and being an unfunny doofus. We cut back to Bugs and he helps Porky become a better cook. Nothing interesting, we're moving on. We cut back to Daffy and it turns out he doesn't know how to swim. He's a freaking duck. How does he not know how to swim? Wait, that's supposed to be a joke? Well, that's not a very good joke. You can't just have a character that would normally be good at something not be good at that said thing. That's not a joke. That's a fact. You have to build off of that. Is it said that each episode of this show has at least 3 writers working on it and none of them know how the heck comedy works? God, I hate this show. I hate... Calm down, Ben. Save your energy. You know this show is going to bring out the worst in you later. So, Bugs holds a party and eats a lot of the food that Porky provides. He's gotten addicted to it. Now, ain't that just like Bugs Bunny from the classics, always eating any kind of food besides carrots? I really apologize that I keep bringing up the classics, but this show knew what it was getting into when it called itself the Looney Tunes Show! So, Daffy's water polo team has their first game, and before the game starts, Daffy tells a story about himself, which ends up being the plot of Rocky. Okay, so Daffy just did a synopsis of a movie. Is that considered funny these days? Well, the team loses a game, and I could care less. Meanwhile, Bugs is holding more and more parties so he can eat Porky's food, and he's starting to get fat. Obesity is funny. Anyway, Daffy makes Gossamer the goalie after the team loses several matches, and they start to win. When it comes time for the big game, Gossamer doesn't want to play. What's that? You want a reason? Well, you're not getting one. Sorry. So, the team plays and loses, and Daffy doesn't care. He was just happy to see the kids having fun. Yeah, because that's how the Daffy in the classic shorts would have reacted to that. So, the kids throw Daffy into the pool, and he starts to drown. So Bugs saves him by jumping into the water, and his body weight causes all the water to splash out of the pool. Oh, so that's why they made Bugs fat. It didn't lead to any comedy, just a plot point that's hurt by the fact that Daffy's a duck that can't swim. Pleasant. Well, here's one thing that hasn't changed about this show. Those crappy merry melodies are still in it. In this one, Marvin's singing a love song to his laser beam. I thought the grilled cheese song was messed up. Wow, what a great season premiere! I can see that the writers of this show have really stepped up their game and are trying to make this show more like the classic Looney Tunes. Wait, no they're not! It's still the same lazy, written sitcom bullcrap that doesn't feel anything like the classics. God, I hate this show! Well, since I'm fair, I know that I can't judge a season by one episode, so I watched 4 more. Does this show really improve? My hangover says otherwise. Let's take a look. The next episode was You've Got Hate Mail. It starts off with Bugs and Daffy in a bakery. Bugs wanted a carrot cake, but he gets a lemon meringue pie instead.
1 lemon meringue pie. 1 lemon meringue pie coming up. Pick up pie. Roger. Your pie, sir.
Wow, so far the only thing in this whole show that reminds me of the classics is a frickin' pie. That's just sad. Anyway, this intro leads to nothing funny. After the theme music, Daffy is at his girlfriend Tina's house. You know, Tina! From the classic Tina cartoons. She was hilarious. Anyway, Tina writes an email, only for her to delete it because she doesn't want anybody to read it. We cut to Bugs at Lola's house. God, I'm not a praying man, but if you can help me deal with this show's version of Lola, I promise I'll go to church once every 5 years. So, Bugs is eating carrot cake with Lola's family, and Lola wants him to be in the family photo. Later, Bugs arrives home to find Daffy, and he is writing an email which he accidentally sends to all of his friends. Bugs tries to read the email on his phone, but he and Daffy fight over it. Well, there goes another failed attempt at slapstick by this show. In the midst of the fight, Bugs chips his tooth, so now he can't be in Lola's family photo. Later, Bugs and Daffy are eating at a restaurant, and Daffy's trying to avoid his friends. Which Lisa sees Daffy and confronts him about the email. Daffy then proceeds to ask what is the smartest bit of dialogue I've ever heard in this whole show. What's with the magic wand if you're not going to use it? I see that quote as symbolism for this show. What's the point of having the Looney Tunes characters in this show if you're not going to use them? Why, show? Why? Okay, so when Daffy leaves the restaurant, he runs into Yosemite Sam, who's read his email. Oh man, Daffy's in for it now. Sam never lets anything that ticks him off slip by. I expect Yosemite Sam to comedically pump Daffy full of lead while Sam yells every clean curse word in the book. Okay, show, it's time for you to make up for 1.5 years of crapping on the Looney Tunes name. So, what happens? Sam hugs Daffy and says he agrees with him, and Sam's going to change his ways.
Is this some kind of cruel joke?
Okay! That's it! I'm convinced this show isn't Looney Tunes. It's something completely different. It's nothing more than a rejected ABC sitcom with actors wearing animal costumes that happen to look like the Looney Tunes characters. I'm no longer going to call these characters something they're not. I'm going to call this show the show from now on because it doesn't deserve to be mentioned in the same sentence as Looney Tunes. So, Lola sees that Not Bugs has chipped a tooth, and Lola cancels the photo. However, Not Bugs has an all of a sudden change in attitude as he wants to be in the photo now. Mood swings! Meanwhile, Not Daffy meets up with Tina, and he finds out she still hasn't read his email, so he and Not Porky try to delete the email from her computer. Meanwhile, Not Bugs chases Lola's family to try to get in the photo. Back with Not Daffy, he's unable to figure out Tina's password because he doesn't know anything about her. Tina opens her email, and it turns out Not Daffy actually said nice things about Tina in the email. Wait. All this time he's been trying to get her not to read the email, and he actually said nice things about her? What freaking cop-out! Are you trying to tell me that Not Daffy is so dumb he doesn't even know when he's saying nice things or bad things? Oh my god! This show doesn't even know how to make its own characters good! Anyway, Not Bugs eventually gets himself in Lola's family photo, and I could care less. Afterwards, Not Yosemite Sam is at a book club, and he flips out on the book club and goes back to his normal persona. So, that total rapage in my childhood that didn't lead to anything funny, came out of nowhere, was out of character for the character that the writers think they're writing for, and was completely pointless. Funky cold Medina mother fruit salad wearing sons of ditching brother trucking jock sucking father plucking witch ditch pitch itching asphalt chucking frugal stopping bag handling blaster selling bull sitting horse spinning dog grabbing duck ship eating convenience storing jackholes. Sister Christian yodeling asset finding grandma napping uncle cousins bench jumping father mothering floor flub luck-headed morons. Train! Anyway, what I'm trying to say is, this episode sucked! It was full of plot holes, character inconsistencies, it just proves how unaware of what it's trying to be it is. If this is how mad I am 2 episodes in, then I fear for what might occur if I watch more episodes. The next episode was Itsy Bitsy Gopher. This one starts off with Not Bugs and Not Daffy playing Scrabble. Not Daffy ends up spelling the word Darvog. Not Bugs tells him that's not a word, so Not Daffy quits. This is some really hilarious writing here. Seriously, where are the jokes in this show? I hear people say this show is funny. Well, let me ask you folks who find this show funny, what the heck are you laughing at? After the intro, Not Bugs and Not Daffy see a spider in their house. Oh, for God's sake! A spider? Really? This show can't get more creative than that. Lola then comes to the house and breaks a lamp trying to kill the spider, so she and Not Daffy go lamp shopping. Ooh, lamp shopping! So excited. Oh my, I'm too sick of this show to be sarcastic. Just move on. Anyway, they go to the Not Goofy Gophers antique shop and they find out Not Tosh is missing. So, for the rest of this episode, Not Daffy and Lola try to find Not Tosh while Not Bugs tries to kill the spider. You know the drill, unfunny scenes, bad characters, boring plot points. However, there's one scene that really bothered me that I'd like to talk about. There was one point in this episode where Not Daffy and Lola stare at a mailbox for 2 full minutes. 2 freaking minutes of them just staring at a mailbox. Are you sitting me? You've got 22 minutes to fill, and you fill 1/11 of that time with characters staring at a mailbox? Come on! Could you imagine if the real Looney Tunes did something like that? Alright, Wabbit, I'm going to blast you. You know, Doc, I'm just not feeling the whole hunter versus rabbit thing. How about we do something different? Like stare at a mailbox. Oh, alright. I'm probably exaggerating this a bit, but that 2 minutes felt like 2 hours. This is a cartoon, dang it. Have the characters be cartoony. Oh, by the way, guess how it ends. It turns out Not Tosh was just walking around the park and he left a note telling where he was, but Not Daffy took it to use. Bugs gets bit by the spider and Darvog turns out being an anti-irritation cream. Remember that joke at the beginning of the episode? Neither do I. And finally, the merry melody at the end of this episode is not Yosemite Sam's mustache singing to him. God, how much Mountain Dew did I drink? Next up was Rebel Without a Glove. In this one, Not Daffy uses Not Bugs' gloves, and he ends up shrinking them in the dryer. Not Bugs then tries to live his life without his gloves. Oh God. Gloves? Really? That's what this plot is about? Seinfeld was about more interesting things than this. Later on, Not Bugs isn't acting like himself, so he decides that he needs his gloves. Oh, so his gloves are what give Not Bugs Bunny his personality. That's so trucking stupid, that's not worth getting mad about. While Not Bugs is looking for his gloves, Not Daffy decides to change his name to Professor Duck. Not Bugs eventually buys himself some biker gloves, which turn him into a jerky motorcycle rider. As you folks know, all motorcycle riders are jerks. So, Not Daffy becomes a college professor while Not Bugs is a motorcycle riding bad boy. Boring stuff ensues concerning these two, as eventually, Not Daffy and Not Bugs have a heart-to-heart conversation, and Not Daffy asks Not Bugs to come to his lecture. Not Bugs comes to the class, and Not Bugs feels he's going to change his ways, and Not Daffy is proud of him. You know, I actually like where this is going. You can make a show about a college professor and a rebel living together in one house. So many comedic possibilities. Granted, it won't be a good show, but at least it'll be less aggravating than a show that it's trying to pretend it's something it's not. Sadly, that doesn't happen, as Not Porky tells them to go back to their normal selves. And that's all it took for them to do that. Huh. Anyway, this episode was just as boring as bland as the other ones. Finally, the last one, Semper Lie. This one is about Not Bugs not wanting to go to a peach festival with Not Porky. So, Not Bugs lies that he has to help his sister move. Normally, I'd be stabbing 12-year-old children due to how out of character that is for Bugs Bunny. But, like I said, these aren't Looney Tunes characters, so I'm not even mad. Not Bugs' lie snowballs, causing him to have to lie more to fix the loopholes that his friends find in what he says, and it doesn't lead to anything except Not Bugs being thrown in an Albanian jail, and Not Daffy, who joined the Marines in this episode, has to save him. The end! Folks, what else do I have to say? This show still frickin' sucks. The creators had all this time to listen to the criticism from audiences to at least try to make this show feel more like the classics. And what did they accomplish? Nothing. It's still the same bland, unfunny sitcom crap that doesn't use the characters that it's trying to use properly. The only thing I noticed they changed is the designs of the characters. There's more to Looney Tunes than how the characters look, you freaking ignoramuses. And if there's anyone out there that tries to tell me this is a Looney Tunes show, you guys are gonna have a date that night with my knife Herman. Anyway, I'm Ben, and I'm signing out. I'm gonna go stare at a mailbox.